Welcome back to another episode of Murder Mysteries and More. My name's Kaylee.
My name is Desi.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell next to the subscribe button to turn on post notifications.
Before we get into this episode, we always encourage those who have useful information for any unsolved case to please report it to your local police and sheriff department. In 1958, the legend of a big hairy creature roaming deep in the woods of North America known as Bigfoot was born. Today, we will be discussing that very legend of Bigfoot.
BB, before Bigfoot. Bigfoot has had many names recorded, some of them being more recognizable names than others. The names are Hairy Man, Wild Man, Sasky, and Sasquatch. There's a European folktale of wild men that does match the description of Bigfoot, where they too are covered with hair in all the places from their face to their feet and hands, and some exceptions allow other places to be bare, if you know what I mean. Many indigenous tribes had tales of creatures covered in hair that spanned in North America. During this time, tribes and explorers had expressed concerns over these different versions of Bigfoot, with most of them being more a predaceous species rather than an evasive creature. It is believed that British explorer David Thompson was the first to find Bigfoot tracks in 1811. And this is an entry from his journal, quotation marks. January 7th, 1881, continuing our journey in the afternoon, we came on the track of a large animal. The snow about 6 inches deep on the ice. I measured it, 4 large toes, each 4 inches in length, to each a short claw. The ball of the foot sunk 3 inches lower than the toes. The hinder part of the foot did not mark well. The length 14 inches by 8 inches in breadth. Walking from north to south and having passed about 6 hours. We were in no humor to follow him. The men and Indians would have to be a young mammoth, and I held it to be the track of the large old grizzly bear. Yet the shortness of the nails, the ball of the feet, and its great size was not that of a bear, otherwise that of a very large old bear, his claws worn away. This the Indians would not allow." End quote.
Yeah, in 1847, Paul Kane reported stories of skookums, cannibalistic wild men who lived on Mount St. Helens. Oh boy. These stories would be followed up by Theodore Roosevelt's 1893 book, The Wilderness Hunter, where he wrote of a story told by a man of a fatal incident he witnessed alongside his companion whose neck snapped by a bipedal creature. These stories would then again be followed up by an incident that had occurred in 1924, where prospectors at St. Helens reported ape men who became hostile during the night after an earlier encounter with them had a prospector shoot their rifle at one. Investigators who explored the site drew up that the incident was a fabrication, but natives used the opportunity to share knowledge of wild Indians. This would go on to be known as the Ape Canyon Incident.
Oof.
Wow. Big oof.
Scary.
Yeah.
The origins of Bigfoot. The Bigfoot name originates in 1958 when a logging company bulldozer operator by the name of Jerry Crew found 16-inch footprints imprinted in the mud in the Six Rivers National Forest. Multiple co-workers also confessed that they saw other trackings as well, with an odd incident of a 450-pound oil drum being inexplicably moved. Bigfoot was the name of the logging company had used when they were investigating the culprit behind the foot imprints. Andrew Genzoli, a columnist for Humboldt Times newspaper, was contacted by the logging company and would write articles about the workers' stories of the footprints, introducing Bigfoot as both a name and a creature to the public. News of the sighting would be published as, quotation, "Giant footprints puzzle residents along the Trinity River," end quote. As the stories started to spread, Genzoli started receiving correspondence from news outlets regarding the story. We had reports from the wire services pounding on our doors, end quote, Gonzalez.
Due to the success of Gonzalez's column, people have regarded Willow Creek in Humboldt County as the Bigfoot capital of the world. In 2002, the family of Ray Wallace, a deceased co-worker of Jerry Crew, uncovered a collection of large, curved wooden shoes that they stated had been used to secretly make the original tracks. Ray Wallace was inspired by Rant Mullins, who, paired with other foresters, all owned the same collection of wooden shoes to scare huckleberry pickers in Toledo, Washington in 1930. Mullins came out about this in 1982, claiming that they were also behind the Abe Canyon incident. Wow. Fucking losers.
Right. Bigfoot's alleged behavior. Bigfoot is said to have multiple signs of territorial display and communication that he often uses, including throwing rocks, wood knocking, which is audible blows to a tree's side, destroying small trees for makeshift markings, suspending deer skeletons high up in trees. That's pretty messed up.
Yep.
Some cryptozoologists who have or are studying Bigfoot have reported and believe that Bigfoot does take intentional gifts such as food, jewelry, and leaves behind sticks and stones in place of the gifts. Many cryptozoologists believe that Bigfoot is nocturnal due to many sightings being reported at night, which I do want to mention BuzzFeed Unsolved, they did do a hunt for Bigfoot, and they did that at night. They have a video out there. Experts have difficulty believing this science. Only lesser primates have been studied to exhibit nocturnal habits. Vocalizations of Bigfoot seem to include howls, screams, moans, and grunts, while also including whistling and an alleged form of primate language. Some Bigfoot researchers believe that Bigfoot has has an infrasound. Sound waves with frequencies below the lower limit of human audibility. As reports of witnesses have stated, during these encounters they felt dizzy, disoriented, and anxious.
Wow.
I mean, I probably, if I saw Bigfoot, I would probably be scared too.
Right? But the most famous alleged encounter of Bigfoot comes from the Patterson-Gimlin film, which was shot in Northern California in 1967, where Bigfoot is believed to be walking into a forest while taking a glance to see him behind. In 2023, a Wyoming couple on their 10th anniversary in southwest Colorado, riding a train through the San Juan Mountains on Sunday, happened to have been recording looking for elk when they thought they saw Bigfoot. This footage has been disproven as a hunter in a ghillie suit, which is a camouflage suit, of course, with sunglasses.
Of course.
Yeah, always. In 2007, in the Allegheny National Forest, a camera trap supposedly caught a juvenile Bigfoot in a photo. The Pennsylvania Games Commission had challenged this photo by saying it was a mangy bear and had unsuccessfully attempted to catch it. An Australian scientist, Vanessa Woods, would go on to estimate the arms were 22 inches long and the torso, which was 18.75 inches long in the photo, concluding the comparability to a chimpanzee. In 2020, the Washington State Department of Transportation released an image of Bigfoot walking behind a tree on Sherman Pass /SR20 as captured by a webcam. And all of these will be linked down below in the description, or you'll see them, of course, in the video.
I will say with the first video, that is one a lot of people have a really, hard time explaining that one. I feel like some of these other ones can easily be explained by something else, but because multiple cryptozoologists who have looked at that first video said that they could kind of see actual muscle movement in that. So it'd be really cool if we would be able to access the original footage of that one.
It would be nice, but I don't know.
Yeah. Now I feel like if in today's age with our technology and everything, if we actually were able to get actual footage, that I would definitely feel that less people would be more skeptical if we were able to actually have some good camera footage in today's age.
Yeah.
Ever since Bigfoot was brought into popular media, there have been some government measures taken to protect such a beast if it were to exist. In the state of Washington, specifically Skamania County, it is currently a misdemeanor to kill Bigfoot, and you can be subjected to a $10,000 monetary fine or 5 years of imprisonment. Other counties within the state have also declared the area a Sasquatch Protection and Refuge Area. In 2021, Oklahoma introduced a bill for Bigfoot hunting season, with the usual hunting requirements needed, that awards $3 million to whoever captures Bigfoot unharmed and alive. People who are part of Bigfoot hunting and researching have also gotten themselves a term. They are called Squatchers. Bigfoot has also been a part of the government environmental campaigns and was also used in several social distancing campaigns in 2021, being a social distancing champion. I remember that time. Russia, France, and Germany have also declared Bigfoot to be an endangered species.
Now, there is a piece of folklore that was back in the 1800s of an ape-like Sasquatch that had been captured alive in Yale, British Columbia, on view in jail, and it was investigated in 1975 by John Green and Sabina Sanderson. The investigation did not begin until the 1950s when Brian McKelvey, a news reporter, was interested in then-current stories of Bigfoot that were carried by local British Columbian papers. McKelvey would find a detailing account about Jacko carried by the Daily British Colonist written on July 4, 1884. McKelvey would tell Green and Renee de Hinden about this account since it was the only record due to a fire that destroyed other area newspapers at the time. How convenient. The story would appear in the book Abominable Snowman Legend Come to Life, released on January 1st, 1961 by author Ivan T. Sanderson. Green and several other authors would follow behind this. Green would find two important articles at the British University of Columbia. July 9, 1884 article from New Westminster Mainland Guardian, who would state the absurdity of the story and that no animal was caught, and then a July 11, 1884 article from British Columbia, who would state that around 200 people showed up to the jail to view Jacko, but the only wild man visible was the governor of the jail with exhausted patients. As new researchers entered the field of cryptozoology, they're using the story of Jacko as proof of Sasquatch's existence.
So, Desi, do you think Bigfoot's real?
I mean, anything's possible. I think, creatures of some, weird type of things do exist. Just like, anomalies, ghosts, whatever. I think there's, something more to just us and, creatures that we've already, discovered in species.
For sure. And there's always some truth to some of these cryptids, because, by definition, there is some truth to it, but also there is some stuff that could have been exaggerated or made up as well.
True. Sometimes people just want to make up stuff to get attention, but also, sometimes people do go based off of real experiences, but still blow it way out of proportion.
Right, and I feel like with Bigfoot and a lot of these cryptids, it's kind of like a game of telephone. Like, somebody will say one thing, and then it ends up being something totally different at the end.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Which is crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
Now to Reddit comments. So the first comment, and I want you guys to answer this in the comments as well. Do you really think Bigfoot is real? And it's by Balls for Your Mouth. What?
Balls for your mouth. That's what it's for.
And then the Queer Werewolf says, yeah, I think that the North American great ape are probably out there, even if they aren't quite what we think they are. I don't believe it in the way some people think they know things to be true, like very religious people, but I suspect. It is interesting to look at history. Look at the name Bigfoot. and kind of start to see this smear campaign that almost looks designed to make witnesses or believers sound crazy, when we haven't seen that same attitude with other unconfirmed wildlife or cryptid sightings. It makes me wonder what the government knows, to be honest.
Northwest Radio. Consider who would stand to lose if the existence of such a creature or culture were proven. I'm thinking there would be a great investment in making the whole thing seem as a farce. Look what the spotted owl did to the timber industry. I know for a fact that some companies actually paid people to do hoaxes back in the 70s and 80s and continued that practice. That was until some of those doing it had their own experiences and started talking. By making it look fake, they buy time and extend revenue. The longer they can go without moratorium, the better. So invest in that to delay shutdown and massive profit loss. True.
Yep, true. I will say also, growing up, I feel like every family has probably told you a story that wasn't entirely true.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that happens sometimes. Families stretch stories out, or they say, "Oh, my great grandfather did this or saw this or whatever."
Yep, just to make you seem like your family's from some really cool thing.
Yeah, in reality, your family's fucking lame as shit.
Right. Merrick Burza will sense a very smelly one came within feet, growled at me, snapped a limb of a tree, and proceeded thrash around in the forest around me while screaming just like a chimp. Yeah, I believe in it.
This is a long one, but this is by Russ T. Shackleford. He says, I've seen a large naked black dude with no neck covered in hair at 4 a.m. in the forest under a tree trying to get out of the rain. Pretty complex hoax considering it was raining buckets and occurred next to a poorly traveled road. He says once my headlights hit it, it just covered its face. Then about 5 years later, and 3 miles from that location, I had a bipedal huge thing harass my campsite. They turned on their flashlight and the big stompy thing would run from big ponderosa pine to another and hide anytime I moved the flashlight away. I've never seen a bear play hide and seek. Both were in southern Oregon in the Cascades. I've been bear hunting in there, and there's a ton of black bear, but they usually top out at 400 pounds, will most never get over 200 pounds. Even the fattest you can't feel walking. Yeah, he said, I've seen a large, naked black dude with no neck. That is pretty scary, though. You saw that, and you don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do.
Especially you're camping, bro. No.
Titty Bra X Ton 333. 100% yes. It's a matter of understanding. We operate on a certain wavelength of frequency as humans. There's a whole world we cannot see.
Burza. Well, since a very smelly one came within feet of me, growled at me, snapped a limb off a tree, and proceeded to thrash around in the forest around me while screaming just like a chimp. Yeah, I believe in them. One, Joy Wizard. I think there are tons of undocumented animals, fish, birds, bugs, amphibians, and reptiles, etc. out there. The world is a big place.
It is.
Yeah. There's a lot we haven't discovered.
I found it one. I question my own existence sometimes, so I'm gonna have to say yes because I've seen a screaming chupacabra. Ooh, scary.
Very scary.
Grey Haw says, I'm sure it's real, just like ghosts, aliens, etc. Just how it's shown on media. Probably not how it's shown on media, because I will say media tends to exaggerate things.
They do. Kill the patsies. I think it's more silly and deluded to think that there's no way such a creature could exist than to firmly believe that they likely exist.
225_318-440. I think Bigfoot could be a distant cousin of the Giantopithecus. I don't know how to say that. But I doubt there's a high population of it throughout the world if it's real.
This is by, our next Reddit comment is by Deleted. Do you think Bigfoot is real? Why or why not? Open door policy. Ha ha ha, that's hilarious. When the population of panthers in Florida was under 100, they were still getting killed by cars. That was a population level so low that the species couldn't maintain themselves, and they were still showing up dead on the side of the road. So the idea that there could be a sustaining population of giant apes in the lower 48 that has somehow eluded any capture, kill, or other indisputable material evidence isn't possible, Bigfoot is almost certainly a mixture of people encountering bears and or hermits and being freaked the fuck out by them. I don't know. Maybe they're just, they're smarter than us. That might be why.
I mean, a lot of animals are smarter than humans.
A lot of animals are smarter than us, unfortunately, but they know how to stay away from us. They know that we could be dangerous. It's like the Mothman. People say the Mothman's not real, which I mean, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Ruituk, this is a hard name to say. 344, however you say that name. No, an animal, its proposed size with its proposed characteristics and behavior would leave behind substantial evidence of its existence and be trackable, even in the proposed scenario of Bigfoots or Squatches or whatever, being intelligent and actively working to obscure their presence. That itself would imply learned behaviors and social structure that only makes the possibility of hiding their existence that much more unlikely. I mean, these creatures are like, some people say they weigh 1,000 or maybe even 2,000 pounds. So you'd think in these forests you would see a lot of trees being snapped and stuff from these ginormous creatures.
For real. But also, they could maybe not leave evidence behind. They could be, like I said, they could be really smart. They could be fucking superior smarter than us. You don't know.
And also, like, I mean, there's so many different versions, too, of different cryptids. I know there's, like, different versions of Bigfoot, too.
Oh, yeah. There's so many different versions of Bigfoot that you don't know for sure.
Like, in Asia, there's this, like, the Yeti.
Yeah.
And, I mean, for them, like, it's in, like, snow and shit and, like, mountains, so...
Sure.
And, yeah, there is a lot of forests we haven't explored.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we haven't explored. Dean Guy says, he's real. There's just a whole bunch of documentaries about his misadventures with beef jerky.
Delina says, yes, he plays the saxophone.
That would be funny. I want to hear him play Careless Whispers. Tell me with the saxophone. That would be great. Oh, Foxy Mama. I see what you did there. Foxy Mama. I came here to say my spouse's family members who think Bigfoot is a time traveler here to observe humans, but they think I'm stupid for being liberal and PC. R.I.P.
Type -adventurous. No, he's been spotted for like forever, but no one can even come up with a decent picture, let alone some tangible proof. People just get a little spooked in the woods. It's true, like if you go to the woods at night especially, you'll see some weird thing, and it could simply be people's minds playing tricks on them.
Yeah, it could be. Deleted says, I did it one time, yes, but it turned out to just be that hot dog eating caveman bastard Sam Lasco.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Butter Elderberry 973 says, monk.
Crazy Jedi geek, he's in the Bible, not kidding. What?
On to the last section of Reddit comments. This is by Rudy the Baron X. What is the creepiest Bigfoot encounter you've ever heard of? And if you have any encounters, please put them in the comments below.
Yeah, that would be cool if you did.
Boone Dragon says, the one from the infamous South Carolina episode where the British woman saw a full family on the beach in California. I find it noteworthy. Creepy, probably the same reason why some folks think it's obviously fake. The incredibly strange behavior reported by the guests. To me, it feels so unexpected and natural that it's genuinely convincing.
Slavic Witch 99, the one from Sasquatch Chronicles, where a guy is telling a memory from his childhood visiting his grandmother and him seeing the neighbor feeding something in the dark. The neighbor kept some caged animals like cats or something and fed them to two creatures that spider crawled from around the corner. They were two Bigfoots, a male and female. Apparently that woman was feeding them often and the neighbors watched from the porch. Super, super creepy about the spider crawl though. Oh. No, I don't want to see that. Just a big-ass thing, spider crawling? No, thank you.
Hell no. And then Selvin Russard says, the Sierra sounds. Interplay 29 says, if I was camping and heard those sounds, I probably would have shit myself.
True, though. Hell no. Customer Suspicious 25. I read this encounter on some Bigfoot website in the early 2000s. It's probably 99% complete bullshit, but as a young teen, it creeped me out. But here's what I remember. It was about a Native American family. The kids were home alone when they hear something hit the porch window. They turn the porch lights on and look out the window, and standing in the tree line is a Bigfoot beckoning them to come outside. They freak out and run upstairs and hide until their parents come home. When their parents get home, they tell them what happened. Then they talk to their grandmother about the encounter. She says the Bigfoot recently lost a child and was looking to replace it. Oh, that's sad. But don't steal other people's children. Bad Bigfoot. Bad.
Original prompts _1160. It was an episode of These Woods Are Haunted. Father and son and uncle go to do some squatching in Ohio. Of course, Ohio. After playing calls through the speaker, they start getting responses which turn into signs of aggression. I just always really liked the story and found it creepy, along with the devil monkey episode.
Devil monkey?
I've never heard of the devil monkey, but
I don't want to know.
I probably don't want to know.
Thunder Poon Slayer. There's that one about the dude who discovered these weird tunnels through this thick brush. Then he discovered a bone pit with the body of a hunter that went missing. It was on Sasquatch Chronicles, so take that as you will. Fun story nonetheless.
Grim Loaf. When we were kids, we spent tons of times in the bush, if not every day. We played war, cowboys, and Indians, etc. My friends would literally walk past me no more than 3 feet away. All I wore was a light color brown trench coat and height, like what the hobbits did in the mountain. Imagine a beast or an animal with real camouflage evolved over centuries. I've chased moose and deer. I literally lost him after a few seconds. Wouldn't even hear a sound. Those punkers exist. Let them be. Or leave them be. Yeah, I mean, if they do exist, like, we probably should leave them alone. Not bother them.
Yeah, they finna kill us if they don't.
They're gonna kill us.
Find out.
Also, I mean,
just leave them.
That's their, they have to have a place to live. It's like people like try to get close to like bears in real life, and I'm like, why? You're fucking stupid for one, and two, like, this is their home. Like, they were here first, so quit taking their homes away.
I mean, the Native Americans were here first, and look at what we fucking did to them, and now they're all angry at us so many years later.
I mean, I don't blame them.
Fucking took their home. We shoved them out of their home to use their land. How fucked up can we be? Spookiest meow, probably Sasquatch Chronicles 873. I thought I shot a man. It's an older guy describing his encounter. Long story short, he had a close encounter with a male Sasquatch that seemed to be enjoying the fact that he was terrified. It was standing there, grinning at him and starting to develop an erection. You know how if someone is about to do something scary or exciting, they'll sort of hype themselves up by huffing and puffing before they jump? The guy had the sense that it was hyping itself up to kill him in some kind of frenzied bloodlust. He had a revolver in his hand, but due to how he was standing in relation to the Sasquatch, it hadn't seen the gun. It's creepy because the Sasquatch he encountered seemed to be malicious and was getting excited about probably harming him. Wow. That sounds a little too weird.
Too weird, yeah.
Maybe he was hungry. I don't know. Maybe you looked like a delicious snack to him.
Looked like a whole meal.
A whole ass meal, a whole 5-course meal. Bigfoot is the biggest mystery of all in the world that everyone still seems to wonder about. Will we ever get clear answers for this strange beast of the woods? Probably not. But thank you for listening to another episode of Murders, Mysteries, and More. Remember to always keep your eyes open because Bigfoot could come and eat your ass, or he could, serve you up like a 5-course dinner meal.